Officially known as the Naval Special Warfare Development Group, SEAL Team 6 is the U.S. military's most elite and celebrated unit. But beneath its mythos lies a brutal legacy of unauthorized killings, mutilations, and a code of silence that protected war criminals from consequences. What began as high-risk heroism soon evolved into something far darker, something the military never wanted the public to see: the Wedding Party Massacre. In March 2002, SEAL Team 6 operators were deployed to intercept what commanders believed might be Osama bin Laden's convoy in Afghanistan's Shah-e-Qat Valley. The intelligence was vague, based on a drone feed showing a man in white robes. Despite objections from the SEALs to hold fire and confirm the target, airstrikes were ordered. The convoy was decimated. Then came the order. The area was now a free fire zone. Two Chinooks dropped SEALs on both ends of the wreckage. They expected combatants, but instead found dead women and children, and survivors fleeing in panic. One vehicle contained a small girl curled in the fetal position. Some SEALs wanted to stop and reassess. Others charged forward. Lieutenant Commander Vic Hyder, the mission's ground leader, shot a wounded man who had tried to escape. A teammate, Monty Heath, later accused Hyder of stomping the man's skull after the fatal shot. When Heath confronted the team, most walked away, unwilling to speak out. The bloodshed came just days after the death of Neil Roberts, a SEAL captured and executed by Al-Qaeda. His body was desecrated. SEALs were furious, and many believed the massacre was revenge, not a mission. The next day at Bagram Air Base, Red Team gathered without officers. They debated what they had become. The conclusion: we shoot, then move on. Mutilation isn't part of the game. Still, no one reported Hyder. The code of silence had begun. The convoy's true destination? A wedding. Civilians died, and no one was held accountable. The myth of precision warfare was beginning to unravel. Bloody the hatchet. As SEAL Team 6's power grew, its discipline eroded. In 2006, Commander Hugh Wyman Howard III took charge of Red Squadron and introduced a symbol, a 14-inch tomahawk hatchet, awarded to members after a year of service. At first ceremonial, the hatchets quickly turned into battlefield weapons. Operators used them not just for show, but to hack the dead and dying. One SEAL filmed bleed-out videos of wounded insurgents and replayed them for teammates as entertainment. No one stopped him. When he was eventually pushed out, it wasn't for war crimes. It was for assaulting another SEAL while drunk. Howard encouraged his men to bloody the hatchet. Some did. Reports of mutilation reached command, but leadership turned a blind eye. The weapon had become both a trophy and a green light to kill without restraint. SEAL Team 6's operators weren't just elite. They now acted untouchable, head on a platter. Britt Slabinski, already a SEAL legend for his actions during Roberts Ridge, returned to war in 2007 with a thirst for vengeance. In one mission, he described slaughtering fighters and shooting corpses repeatedly, calling it therapy. His squad laughed. Killing had become casual, entertaining even. Then came a mission in Helmand Province. Slabinski reportedly told his men he wanted a head on a platter. After the raid, Commander Peter Vasley spotted a SEAL sawing at a dead man's neck. Slabinski claimed the operator was just removing gear. He never filed a report. Vasily called for an investigation. SEAL leadership shut it down. When questioned years later, Slabinski admitted making the comment, but insisted it wasn't an order. His team disagreed. One believed he was following instructions. Slabinski was later blacklisted from returning to the unit after another mission, where he allegedly ordered his team to kill all males, armed or not. Yet a fellow officer promoted him anyway. Accountability was dead. The message was clear. Brutality was tolerated, if not rewarded. A kind of sport. Inside SEAL Team 6's Dam Neck headquarters sat a database of every mission. Photos, reports, and raw documentation. Hidden within were pictures of enemy fighters with V-shaped wounds in their foreheads, brains spilling out. It was a signature known as canoeing. It wasn't an accident, it was intentional mutilation. Canoeing, once rare, became routine by 2007. Dead or dying fighters were shot in the head at close range, splitting their skulls. Some operators joked they were just great shots. Others admitted it was for psychological warfare, or just the thrill. Gold Squadron was especially notorious. In one CIA-backed operation, SEALs were told to capture 6 militants for interrogation. Instead, all 6 were executed in their sleep. 4 of them canoed. Photos were passed around, smiles all around. Even a CIA officer, himself a former SEAL, warned the agency about SEAL Team 6's behavior. He was sent home. The issue was buried. Mutilation, trophy taking, unjustified killings, all of it became systemic. Leadership knew, no one acted. SEAL Team 6 wasn't just winning wars, they were turning them into rituals of domination, the president's own. In 2011, SEAL Team 6 entered the Abbottabad compound to kill Osama bin Laden. By the time Robert O'Neill reached the bedroom, bin Laden was already down, fatally wounded by the lead assaulter. But O'Neill fired 2 more shots into bin Laden's face, then placed a final round into his forehead. It was a canoe. He would later describe the gruesome scene in interviews. His forehead was split in a V, he said, brains spilling out over his face. He never said the word, but SEAL Team 6 knew it was the ultimate trophy. O'Neill and teammate Matt Bissonnette, who had both received the Red Squadron hatchets, would later fight over who really killed bin Laden. Each account was laced with half-truths and contradictions. Their self-promotion betrayed a unit once known for silent professionalism. There had never been a plan to capture bin Laden. The mission was kill only. And even in this most scrutinized operation, the old habits returned: mutilation, ego, and myth-making. Vice Admiral William McRaven, who oversaw the raid, would later confront SEAL Team 6 leaders, warning that lying had become honorable if it protected the team. But even his interventions couldn't stop the cultural collapse. For years, commanders refused to discipline their own. From wedding massacres to battlefield desecrations, war crimes were ignored or buried. Internal investigators were told to look away. And when SEALs mutilated bodies, officers covered for them or joined in. SEAL Team 6 had built a reputation as the finest warriors in the U.S. arsenal. But behind the night raids and headlines was a force spiraling into moral chaos, shielded by secrecy, enabled by command, and driven by vengeance. They weren't just elite, they were out of control. SEAL Team 6 built its legend on secrecy. But what happens when that secrecy hides more than just classified missions? As the line between heroism and horror blurred, the truth became harder to ignore. Do these revelations change how you see America's most elite unit? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more in-depth breakdowns, and hit the bell so you never miss an upload.